but I will be very quick just to give you a sense of what it is. So as you will see in the first slide, there are 15 UN entities and non-UN entities also, such as IUCN, that have joined hands in responding to several calls by member states to respond to the challenge of the sand and the storm. So as you will see, United Nations General Assembly twice in two resolutions in 2017 and 2018 have requested the UN system to work together and also requested United Nations Environment Programme to coordinate a UN system-wide effort to respond to sand and dust storm. And you have also two UN environment resolutions also, UN Environment Assembly resolutions on the same topic. We have also other UN entities such as World Health Organization, UNESCAP, and World Meteorological Organization, which have also sort of made the same call that we need to work together in responding to this, knowing the cross-sectorial nature of the sand and dust storm. This is an issue which is not about a sector issue. It is really bringing together health, weather, land, climate, and so on and so forth. So that is sort of the sign of why there is a need for collaboration across sectors. So this coalition is basically going to focus on four key areas. One is to enhance collaboration at various levels amongst the various actors. Two is to raise awareness and advocacy. Three is to enhance the knowledge and the research and the science exchange on the sand and dust storm, and to be a credible source where all of the stakeholders can sort of refer to in knowing the latest status of the research and the science and the knowledge and experience in facing the sand and the storm. And the fourth is, of course, to enhance resource mobilization for sand and dust storm activities, specifically for those common sort of projects or initiatives that the coalition members would like to take forward. What we have done so far is that since the last September, with the initiative of the United Nations Environment Programme, 15 organizations have agreed to join and nominated their focal points to this coalition. These focal points have met twice. They have agreed on the terms of reference of the coalition and also on a draft, a strategy and action plan to work together. All this information is available in our website, unemg.org, and you can find details of these processes. There has been also several workshops, technical workshops organized by UNEP and the World Meteorological Organization, in which we have also consulted with the wide range of experts to bring those types of technical knowledge and experiences also from academia, from other institutions on board. Now today we are launching the coalition officially to basically say that we have delivered sort of our responsibility in formation of the coalition, and we look forward to the continuation of this collaboration amongst the UN entities. We also have, as a very practical tool while we are developing these long-term strategies and action plans, there is an interest which has been expressed by members to develop an application for sand and dust storm, which could be useful for public in anticipating the sand and dust storm event, in having access to major sources of knowledge, good practices, and so on. So that would be hopefully developed soon to be accessible to all stakeholders and the public for free, of course. The approach that has been utilized in sort of forming this collaboration after some consultation has been the so-called disaster risk management approach. And it has been agreed that the coalition members will work on the sand and dust storm based on the sand and dust storm life cycle and this sort of disaster risk management, which is composed of 5 key sectors, 6 key areas, around each of which there will be organizations which will take lead or co-lead roles, depending on their mandates and expertise that they can offer to you. I do not need to repeat this cycle, so it is self-explanatory in this image itself. This slide, I have referred to it. As I said, the key 4 areas of collaboration. And then the earlier one was the 5 sectors. So we will be having 5 working groups consisted of those agencies responsible for activities relating to each of these sectors. And then 4 areas of work, which are information exchange, knowledge management, fundraising, advocacy, awareness raising, and support and providing capacity building services to countries. That is explained here. So we are here today with you. We would like to receive the words of wisdom from the audience, from various stakeholders, to understand if you have taken on board the key issues. There has been a lot of presentation this morning, and from a variety of point of view, issues have been raised. We have taken note of them. But we would like still to learn from you, to understand also if you have other issues that have not been captured, so that we can bear in mind in further continuation of this joint effort. So I stop here, team, and I would be very happy to provide additional explanation. Back to you, team.
Thank you, Hussein. That was very clear. And indeed, we hope that the coalition will be effective in working together. We're still missing the resources to do that. We're all doing this on our spare time and voluntarily for the time being. But hopefully that will come in due course. Now, we had slight change in program now. I've been asked that one of the presentations that is relevant for this session be moved forward, also because the speakers have to be somewhere else at the next session. So we would like to introduce now what the transboundary cooperation aspects are of sand and dust storms. And we have a joint presentation by Kuwait and Iraq, as far as I understand, by Abir Suwait Alabri and Rabea Mahmoud. Are they in the room? Please. Yeah, you can. I think it's uploaded. Can we have the presentation on the screen, please? While we wait for the presentation, please, if you want to come and introduce yourselves and get started. This is for the presentation.
Good morning. I'm Abir Al-Habri from Environmental Public Authority of Kuwait. I'm a director of Coastal and Desertification Monitoring Department of Kuwait. Today I will discuss the challenge of Kuwait about the sand and dust storm. Just take 1 minute to start as we know, yes, the sand and dust storm. As we know, I want to be like this. There is no microphone like that. The main topics of my my lecture is about Kuwait, because nobody know about where is Kuwait and the source, sand and dust storm sources, and how it's the sand and dust storm affecting in economic impact of Kuwait. And there is a case study between Kuwait and Iraq to solve the problem and the main sources of the sand and dust storm, and the final recommendation. So the first about Kuwait. Kuwait, as we know, is a country in Western Asia, and is situated in the north part of the Arabian Peninsula, sharing the boundary with the two countries, is Iraq and Saudi. The total area of Kuwait, 17.18 kilometer, and the total the population is about 4 million people. 1.3 million are Kuwaitis, and 3.2 million are expatriates. So there is a challenge of Kuwait because we are in arid area. So the rainfall, as we show here in this diagram, it is show that the mean we are less of the rainfall in many areas of Kuwait. Starting 1963 until 2008, the range of the total rainfall is ranging in 28.1. This is the less than anywhere in the places in the world. So less of the rainfall, the high temperature, mostly the high temperature of Kuwait reaching in the summer 50 degrees. So it is a high temperature with the less rainfall. That means increasing in the sand and the storm and land degradation. And absolutely, the rising of the wind speed, and mostly the wind speed is coming from the northwest until the southeast, and mostly from the other neighbors like Iraq and Saudi. So if we see in this diagram, it shows the table, the sand and the storm, the number of sand and the storm from starting from 2001 until the 2015, the average number per year. That means it's more than 100 days of the year happen the sand and the storm in Kuwait. So it is the main challenge, how to solve this problem of Kuwait and how it is risk this sand and the storm in the region. So how is this impact? The economic impact of sandstorm. Many sectors of Kuwait is affected in sand and storm, like oil industry, airline, seaport, sand encourage, health affected, also the agriculture, road accidents, and commercial, and also the house cleaning, even the house cleaning. Yes. So the first about the airline, and it is the main sector of Kuwait. It is caused about delay, diverted flight, more than 29 flying in 2015. And the divert 41 fly, and it is cost more than 578 US dollar in 2015. And if we see in the KOC, Kuwait Oil Company, it is the main, as we know, the Kuwait, it is oil country. So the KOC, it is the main company of Kuwait for oil, for production, exploration, and export. So it is cost in 2011 until 2016 more than 3,525,000 in production and exploration and export to delay. And you know about how it is affected in the economic side of Kuwait in oil. And also, as we know, the main road, we have more than 11 main road in Kuwait. And as the Ministry of Public Works, every year, it is remover from the main road of more than 5,073,000 US. And how much? About 2,600,000 square of meter of the sand. As we show here in the pictures, this is the main road of Kuwait, like in Khairan Road, Salmiya Road, Al Wafra, and how it is affected to this the northwest sandstorm coming in the main road of Kuwait. And also, this is also in the health care. And how many people in the per capita? It's more than 865 in 2012. UNCCD every month that's affected in the health in the population of Kuwait. And the disease, and also the car accidents. So, and how many accidents happen about the sand and dust storm, and about how many dies from this one after it's happened the flood in many areas of Kuwait. And also here in many areas, as we show. Yes, okay. So I will, because my friend, so there is a case study between the Kuwait and Iraq, because this is the challenge, is not the sources of this challenge, not from national. It's coming from the other countries, especially the neighbor. And we have the zoning starting from this boundary between Iraq and Saudi, and especially this boundary is called Wadi al-Batin. It is a long boundary that affected between Kuwait and Iraq. And this boundary, we have many Vincent and boundary, because it is international border. And we see how it is the wind coming from Iraq to the Kuwait and from the northwest, from this, and affected in all the Kuwait. And because as we show also here, and also the electric fence between us and the outer fence, and how affect this area for the sources, because I'm not sure. So, and in the final, we make a study between Kuwait and Kisar to show where is the main sources and hotspot of wind erosion. As we mentioned, how many kilos of Kuwait. As we show this map, this is creating now in 2019, and it is show the main hotspot of the wind erosion affecting in the main about the total of Kuwait. So there is some case study to using many of the plant that is resistance of the wind, but it is not an eco-friendly of the nature. But we need, in the final, we need a good challenge and good program between Kuwait and Iraq, because it is a global issues. And thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I have the honor to be with you and sharing experience from Iraq due to the issue of the essential issue related to sand and dust storm. Sand and dust storm has been affected millions of people in Iraq, and it has negative impact on the health, economic, and so on. So I prepare a short presentation showing you the bad impact on the situation of Iraq. As you know, Iraqi. Actually, we are so proud about this collaboration between among many agencies to cover the mandate of and give the essential issue of the sand and dust storm issues. This one? Yes. Yes, please. Just next. Yes, please. Next. No, not this one. Next. We're gonna talk of the frequency and type of sand and dust storm and the causes. It is due to the climate change and the human activity, and the source. There is local and national sources, and the impact, its severe impact on human health and environmental issue and so on. And there is a national management program has been done by Iraq in order to tackle the problem of sand and dust storm. Next. You know, Iraqi is one of the most affected countries in the Middle East concerning the occurrence and the appearance of the sand and dust storm. The frequency of occurrence has extremely increased dramatically in last decade. 122 dust storm and 283 dusty day were recorded yearly in Iraq. This is the most essential things to be noticed. Out of 360, we suffer from 122 days dust storm. More than 65% of the total area of Iraq has been affected by the issue of sand and dust storm. And all these consequences of the erosion, sand dune movement, and dust storm are the most common active phenomenon in some in arid and semi-arid region. The loss of soil, you know, Iraqi has been affected and suffer from the military issue. So we lost the cover of the crust that covered the vegetation cover. And this is the most factor has been affected this due to the soil erosion, including climate and soil structure and vegetation cover, also the topography of the Iraq. Next, please. And the soil erosion distribution of Iraq, the intensity and the affected, and we can see the percentage of the wind erosion and water erosion. Next, please. Let's look where. No. Next, please. Factor causing dust storm in Iraq. Next, please. As we discussed, natural factor including climate change, high temperature, low percentage of range droughts, global warming, and low of cover. Due to the human factor including overgrazing, First and Second Gulf War started from 1991 until 2003. Trees overcutting during the UN economic sanitation of Iraq, all battles occurrence in Iraq against ISIS, particularly in north and west of Iraq. It make the situation worst. Next, please. This is the region affected by the activity of the mobilization of sand dune. You know, we got 4 areas affected of the sedimentary plain and include province of many situations. Next, please. And the map shows us where is the region of sand dune activity. If you look to the sand dune and sand sheet and savvy dune, and although all the treatment of the fixation of the sand dune, but it seems a little bit weak. We suffer from 4 donims of million donims from sand and dust mobilization. Next, please. The number of dust day in Iraq for each month. If you can see in April and June, July, September, the number of frequent